Ariel Helwani for FanHouse.com at the Fight House Gym in New York City, being joined by the Strikeforce CEO and founder, Mr. Scott Coker. And Scott just announced Fyodor Emelianenko, Brett Rogers, location and date TBD. So I'll give you the form right here. Break the news for us. Where's it going down?
Well, you know what? I wish I could tell you. There hasn't been a finalized deal at a location in the town or the venue. So, you know, one of the good things about my partners, Silicon Valley Sports Entertainment, is they're very knowledgeable about the arena deals out there. So they're doing what they do, and I'm leaving them alone until they say, this is the deal, this is the venue, this is where we're going. But I know they're talking to 3 or 4 different venues, and we should have an answer, hopefully, by the end of the week.
Well, when you held your last event, the rumor going around was that the event was going to take place October 10th. Now we've just seen World Extreme Cage Fighting reschedule their WC 43 event to that exact date. So is it safe to say that you are not going to be on October 10th, or is that still a possibility that you might be going up against that event?
Well, the schedule has changed, obviously, because it took us a while to get the opponent together. And, you know, M1 is, just arrived last night. And really the fight with Brett Rogers was just put together literally 2 hours ago. And Brett's on a plane now coming to New York to do all the photo shoots and all the stuff with Showtime. But, you know, I think that it's a challenging time frame in 5 weeks to put a fight of that magnitude together. So we're talking about doing it either on the 31st or the 7th of November. Give us a little more time and do it right, and, you know, let us, you know, give us a little chance to breathe and move forward.
And what was the thought process behind booking Rogers versus Fyodor? There are obviously other very good opponents out there, Fabricio Verdum, Alistair Overeem, a lot of people thinking that Fyodor should get the immediate title shot. What was the thought process there?
Well, you know, one thing about Fedor is he's not afraid to fight anybody, and you know that. He's fought everybody. We looked at all the opponents. We talked to them about it. Fabricio was under consideration. Karatanov was under consideration, which I think for the future that'd be a great fight. Alistair was not under consideration because he'll be ready by October, but he's not going to be ready to fight Fedor by October. So he was out. And then Brett Rogers' name came up, and I just said, you know, here's a guy that knocked out Arlovsky, which was Fedor's last opponent. Promotable fight. He's a big guy. If he hits you, it's going to hurt. And well, if he hits you, it's going to knock you out. He's going to knock you out. And 10-0 record, built on CBS and Showtime. Let's do it. And, you know, they said okay, and thankfully Showtime said okay, and here we are now. You know.
Jason Mayhem Miller recently said that he's going to be fighting Jake Shields for the interim middleweight title. Is that fight going to happen? A, and B, is it going to happen on that same card?
That fight will happen. The exact date, we're not sure yet, but it'll happen before the end of the year.
Will Kung Lee be coming back by the end of the year, or are you going to go with the interim title and then maybe the winner faces Kung in 2010?
When I get back to the Bay Area, I'll be sitting down with Kung, and I can answer that maybe next week.
Well, you know we're always looking for scoops, so why don't you tell us some of the other fights on the card?
Okay, on the undercard of this fight?
Yeah.
I think you'll see Jacare. If you look at our 185-pound weight class, you got Jake, you got Jacare, you got Matt Lindland now, you got Robbie Lawler, you have Kung, you have Frank. We have some depth there, and so we're just going to start having those guys fight each other.
Who will Jacare be fighting?
He'll be fighting possibly Robbie Lawler is what it's leaning towards. We haven't told Robbie yet, so Monty, don't be mad at me, but it looks like we're going to offer that fight to Robbie Lawler.
And Matt Lindland recently told us that he's looking to debut for Strikeforce in October. Will he be fighting on the card as well?
Yes, we you know, all the matchmaking hasn't been done yet. There's considerations with Showtime. There's considerations with M1 because, you know, they're going to want to put some fighters on the fight card. But, you know, again, it's the commitment. We're committed to putting the best fight that we can on TV for the fans and for Showtime and for both organizations. And we'll finish the matchmaking, you know, in the next probably 7 to 10 days.
All right, I'll stop grilling you on the card. I just want to ask about the partnership with M1 Global. Of course, in the past, we've seen some partnerships go awry in the world of mixed martial arts. I mean, you know a little bit about that. No rumor that the relationship with Pro Elite wasn't the best. Why will this one be different? Why can this be the one exception to the rule?
Well, the Pro Elite relationship started on a bad note because of the Frank Shamrock situation. And so it started bad, and it got better. And I think it was pretty good before they had their turn of events there. So, you know, it was okay. I mean, the fights that we did together with Pro Elite were probably 2 of the best fights we did before we entered into the Showtime contract. And Frank Shamrock fighting Kung Lee was an amazing show for us and an amazing fight card. And Frank fighting Brony, that was, another great fight card. So, very happy. I learned a lot in that relationship with those guys, and if I didn't go through that with them, I never would have met Showtime, and we wouldn't be here today.
All right, and the last event that you had, obviously very successful, apparently the highest rated MMA event on Showtime. Afterwards, the UFC sent out a press release that they did as well, very well with their UFC 100 broadcast. Are you feeling the heat now to try to go tit for tat with the UFC and try to compete with their big cards and their counter programming?
I tell you, it's they've always counter programmed us. It's just in their business model to do that. And to me, I look at it differently. I look at it like this. So they had great ratings, and we had the best ratings ever in the history of Showtime. What does it say for the industry? It says the industry is healthy, and there's room for everybody. And to me, that's what those statistics say. And so it's not a matter of tit for tat. I mean, they're running their business model. They have a great business, and we're running our business. And, we're going to do the best we can do.
Have you ever spoken to Dana White?
Yeah.
Recently?
Not recently.
Not recently? Would you be interested, just so that there are no harsh...
Honestly, it bums me out that, whatever happened, because the relationship was healthy before that. And, if we had a chance to sit down and talk one day, I'd love to do it. But, it's who knows what the future holds. But, right now I got a fight to promote, get that date locked down, get a fight going. And, we got Fedor fighting with Strikeforce and M1 co-promotion. And I got a lot of work ahead of me, so I got to get to work.
And finally, I just want to ask about Gina Carano. We haven't heard from her or seen her since she lost to Chris Cyborg 2 weekends ago. She received a bit of heat for that she hasn't talked, and she didn't come to the press conference, didn't speak after the fight. As the promoter, what do you make of that? Do you think that, the fighter deserves some time afterwards, especially due to all the media that she did beforehand, or do you think that she should speak out and give her 2 cents?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, with Gina, I think any fighter that fights a fight that big, that relevant, especially her first fight comeback, she wants to take some time off, let's give her a break, And she's a warrior, she'll be back, and I heard she's going to send out a press release in the next, couple weeks. That's what her agent told me. We look forward to seeing it and supporting her. And, she took a little time off from what I hear, and I'll probably meet with her in the next, couple of weeks and see what she wants to do.
When will we see Gina and Chris Cyborg next, tentatively?
You'll see them probably fighting. I think Chris Cyborg will probably fight either be at the end of the year or beginning of 2010.
Marlos Conan?
Could be.
Possibly.
I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Scott Coker, always gracious with his time here at the Fight House Gym in New York City. The big news, of course, Fyodor Emelianenko has agreed to face Brett Rogers. We don't know when just yet, but sometime later in the fall. Scott, thank you very much for the time, as always, and we look forward to it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Al.